Is a change coming for the New York Knicks in their starting lineup? We're going to break that down on today's show as you're watching Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. Not at the studio today, and I apologize for getting this video out a little bit late, but we are live here with the Chat Sports teams at the 2025 NFL Draft Combine. So stick with us. Going to be still getting you guys Knicks content, but priority is going to go with Big Blue right now. But still wanted to fill you in. That's why you subscribe. Hit that thumbs up icon. Tom Thibodeau said this today when meeting with the media. Quote, "We've gone 50-something games without our starting center. Guys have done a really good job stepping in. Could we do better? I always believe we could do better. We've gone 50-something games without our starting center." Is Tom Thibodeau going to end up starting Mitchell Robinson when he comes back from injury? He has been cleared for contact. He's been doing a lot more practice. Rumors are coming out that he could play tomorrow against the Philadelphia 76ers. Hopefully Joel Embiid doesn't pull his ankle out of socket this time, as I got producer Chip, Sixers fan, on the ones and twos, giving me a little bit of a laugh there. But seriously, this is huge news for the Knicks. Look, you are number 3 in the Eastern Conference right now. Your starting lineup has been up and down, I would say. But after you were throttled by the Cavs, after you were throttled again by the Celtics, does Tom Thibodeau think a change should be made? And does that change involve Mitchell Robinson being thrusted into the starting lineup? A lot of people have painted me as a Mitchell Robinson hater, and I don't think that's fair. I do have some legitimate questions about Robinson. And mainly, it's all about durability. I'm not going to say the best ability is availability, but a lot of times a good ability is availability, and he lacks that. Has played more than just 60 games one time in the last 4 seasons. But when he is healthy, he is productive. 4 straight seasons of more than 4.5 offensive rebounds per game. One of the best offensive rebounders in the league. 4 straight years of more than 1.2 blocks per game. And 4 straight years of more than 0.8 steals per game. And I can't forget, and I don't think anyone forgets, what he did in that 2023 playoff series against the Cleveland Cavaliers. This is someone that took over that matchup. Jarrett Allen, starting center for the Cavs, he was an all-star that year. And Mitchell Robinson, he worked him. Specifically in that Game 5 matchup, had like 18 rebounds, 11 of them were offensive. He was a menace on the glass, and he was awesome playing the passing lanes and being great on defense. And as we know, the New York Knicks defense is struggling right now. They were lit up by the Celtics. They were lit up by the Cavs. They've been lit up by the Thunder. Seems like anytime they play a top team, their defense does get lit up. I do worry a little bit more about the perimeter defense than I do the interior defense. The Knicks have been one of the worst, if not the worst still, defensive three-point field goal percentage team in the NBA. And I wonder how much, adding Mitchell Robinson into that starting lineup. Another side of the coin that I think about with Robinson going into the starting lineup is, how does this affect a guy like Karl Anthony Towns? They make a big trade for him this offseason. Played center at the beginning of his career in Minnesota. Then they made that move for Rudy Gobert, and he played power forward. So we've seen Cat play power forward. We've seen Cat play that center position. And we also have seen that his offensive game looks a little bit different at those 2 spots. This year, Towns averaging 24.7 points per game, one of the best in the league, one of the best of his career, and he's been great on the glass, 13.4 boards, been really efficient, 53.4% from the field, and he's been hot from downtown. Something that sticks out to me, though, the shot diet. Last year, playing next to Rudy Gobert, he attempted 5.3 threes per game compared to 4.8. And I think a large part of that was because of the ability for Towns to play a little bit more off ball and use those screens from a guy like Karl Anthony Towns. And the New York Knicks, their three-point volume has started to dip into the new year. Since 2025, the New York Knicks are near the bottom of the league when it comes to three-pointers hoisted up on a nightly basis. And if you're not going to defend the 3 and you don't shoot the 3, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. There's a lot of sides to this Mitchell Robinson starting saga, and we don't know if it is officially going to happen, but the quote, at least from Tom Thibodeau, perked my ears up, and I know it did for a lot of other Knicks fans out there. So before I give you more thoughts of, should Josh Hart be the one that sits? Should it be OG? Should it be Mikal? Who should it be? I just want to ask you this simple question. Should Mitchell Robinson start with the Knicks when he does return from injury? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Let me know what you think. And as we get ready for the second half and really the home stretch of this season, make sure you're repping the Knicks and Knicks Now by Chat Sports. Go to chatsports.com/realknicks. That's chatsports.com/realknicks and get your Knicks Now t-shirt today. We've got the blue one. We've got the black one. And you guys know the deal. The more merch we sell, the more merch we're going to come out with. A lot of people have been saying, Marsh, we need more merch. Here's your opportunity. Chatsports.com/realknicks. Chatsports.com/realknicks. So I wanted to take a look at what this starting lineup could look like if Mitchell Robinson is added to this list. You see Josh Hart included in this one, Brunson, Hart, Anunoby, Karl-Anthony Towns, and Mitchell Robinson. Hart, I feel like, is just playing too good of a season to come off the bench. But when you think, is it going to be Hart or is it going to be Mikal Bridges, it does seem like Josh Hart is the more likely suspect to be that sixth man. You gave up the control of not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, but 6 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges. And if you are essentially going to bench him 54 games in, I think that sounds the alarms of you may have a little bit of buyer's remorse. Josh Hart is also someone that I think is a little bit more of a guy that would thrive off the bench for the Knicks. The energy, the effort, the grit, the tenacity, the different ways that he can affect a game. This guy is averaging 15 and 10 on the year if you round up with 6 dimes. 3-point percentage is starting to fall off a cliff here in the new year, but still one of the most efficient players in the NBA. And whether it be Hart or Bridges off the bench, that is going to deepen your wing rotation, and you're going to be able to have a guy that you trust a lot. At the end of the day, though, I want to make this abundantly clear. I do want Josh Hart closing games for this team. Bridges, he has been up with a lot more downs this year. I thought the defense kind of turned a corner, the last month or so, but he has really struggled guarding a guy like Jason Tatum. 17.7 points per game is fine. I wish he was a little bit more aggressive at times. We all can have our thoughts on Mikal Bridges. I need the 3-point percentage to be up, though. 35.9% is below league average, and they just need him to be better. It's going to be a tough decision for Thibodeau. There are truly pros and cons to all 3 lineups. One that features Mitch, one that features Hart and Bridges, one that features Mitch and Bridges, one that features Mitch and Hart. I don't think OG Anunoby is going to come off the bench. A couple people have already DM'd me and asked me that question. I don't think that's possible. If I had to guess, I do think it is Josh Hart. I think it makes the most sense. And I've been really hard pushing back against the idea that Mitch should start because I think it takes your offense back a little bit. But can it bring your offense forward enough, or your defense forward enough, I should say, to be able to compete against top teams? I want to say this, though, before we bounce on out of here. There's been a lot of talk about the Knicks' defensive struggles. I've made it a point because it is a big point. But don't forget this. Against the Celtics, against the Cavs, and against the Thunder, 7 games. The New York Knicks have not scored more than 109 points in any of those games. So we could talk defense, but you are averaging less than 109 points in those 7 games. And all against the rest of the teams in the NBA, you have the second best offensive rating in the league. So yeah, offense is still a problem for this team. Who comes off the bench in your opinion, or who should come off the bench if Mitchell Robinson is added to the starting lineup? Is it Josh Hart? Is it Bridges? Type the jersey number of the guy you think should be the 6th man, and make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram, @MarshallGreen_. Hit me up over there, and let's go Knicks.